began to tell me about things in 2007, began to show me things that were going to be happening, and things like Egypt. He said, watch what's going to be happening in the Middle East, and here's a sign for you. Egypt. President Mubarak is going to be removed from office, and Egypt will turn into a terrorist state. When that begins to happen, know that the rest of the Arab nations that do not espouse religious extremism, Islamic religious extremism, understand that they will be deposed under a false guise, and a harsher regime will take each of their places, including Saudi Arabia. And it will begin, watch Egypt. He said, begin to watch the European community. He said, because I'm going to trouble the waters in Europe, and the euro is going to start to fall, and it will weaken and it will crumble. And he said, and then shortly after that, your dollar will follow. Even this year, tensions in Israel and Iran are going to escalate. The day is going to come when Israel will hit Iran. They already have hit. There were mystery explosions that happened. And the Lord told me about this. He said, Israel will one day send in rockets into Iran. He said, but before that day happens, there will be other explosions that will be called mystery explosions. And those have happened. But one day it is going to happen. And when that takes place and those missiles hit Iran, there's going to be a huge growth of anti-Semitism. And everybody's going to blame Israel on the price of gasoline. You're going to see incredible backlash that happens. And you're going to see OPEC countries forming an alliance that says we'll not sell to anybody who supports Israel. So America, if you want gasoline, you better stop your support of Israel. Israel will become a difficult thing, and Jerusalem will become a couple trembling. It is going to happen. And it's going to happen not years from now, sooner than that. And everything is going to begin to change. We're going to see the dollar collapse. We're going to see a new American currency. We're going to see a new global currency. We're going to see a new one world currency. We're going to see a new one world order. We're going to see a whole different economic structure set up between Mexico, Canada, and the United States. We're going to see a whole new structure set up with the European Economic Community. We're going to see a whole new thing that's going to be going. The United Nations is stronger. The EU is going to be getting stronger. We're going to ashes and become an incredible force in the Middle East with darkness in the core. Right now, Turkey seems to be rather demure, but Turkey will not remain demure for long. And you're going to start seeing Russia take on a whole new nationalism, and Russia's going to create a crisis in order to spawn nationalism because it realizes it's losing its youth. And Russia's going to end up blackmailing many of the small satellite nations that used to be part of the Soviet bloc and demanding that they come into a whole new alliance. Will be blackmailed. I hope they do not succumb. I've got to give a message to them in the spring when I go there. Czechoslovakia, the Slavic countries, Hungary, Romania, Ukraine, Kazakhstan, all these are going to be blackmailed by Russia. Says if you want our oil and you want our gas, you will come back in. Because if you don't, we will close the pipeline tomorrow. Here he told me about, they said the earthquakes are going to be coming. Earthquakes are going to change the tilt of the earth. And so we had the Chile earthquake and the earth tilted, the tilt changed. We have the New Zealand earthquakes and the earth tilt changed. We have the Japan earthquake and the tilt of the earth changed. And he says when you start to see this happening, when the tilt of the earth changes, jet streams are going to change, weather patterns are going to change dramatically, and countries are going to experience climatological changes that they've never experienced before, and it will cause the loss of crops. There's so much that is about to take place in this nation. There's so many things. There's other assassination attempts that are going to be coming. I'm I'm not a part of any of that. I just know what God has shown me. There's anger that is going to be erupting. Violence is going to be in the streets. Rich houses are going to be, neighborhoods are going to be invaded. What the Robin Hood mentality of what's yours is mine is going to spread. And all you're going to be seeing in multi-million-dollar neighborhoods is chimneys left standing and burnt chars of the houses. Violence is going to become so prevalent. Police forces will not be able to take care of it, and even the military forces will only be able to take care of it in the urban areas and not the rural areas. And even all urban areas won't be able to be taken care of. It will be so widespread. We're going to see, there are going to be tornadoes that end up coming because of the changes in the jet streams and the climatological changes. They're going to have to invent a higher category of tornado. I think the highest it goes to right now is F5. I think it's going to have to go to an F6. Whatever the next category is that they don't have, that's what they're going to have. Because they have never measured wind speeds of tornadoes this high before. That's coming. Hurricanes that are over 500 miles wide. Volcanoes are going to erupt again in the northwestern states. Cities will be dramatically impacted. There will be things that happen that are just unheard of. Drought is going to continue to escalate in the lower half of the United States. So much so that, just as it says in Revelation chapter 6, a loaf of bread, there may be bread, but what it's going to cost you will be enormous. So much so that they will have to put guards on trucks to keep trucks from being robbed of food. Earthquakes will not only strike coastal areas, but even the Midwest of the United States. There'll be tornadoes with such force that automobiles will become airborne missiles. The Lord told me that there would be a pandemic that came, but the first one would prove to be little but fear, but the second one that comes will be serious. So there's a pandemic that is going to be coming. There will be changes in our gravity as there's a shift happening. It will happen in the magma of the earth. Changes will happen in the gravity fields. Look for notifications of changes in the gravity fields. And also with that will come heating of the ocean's floor and the ocean's changing temperatures. And that will end up killing a lot of fish and everything else in the ocean. China's escalation is not by accident. It is planned and it is strategic and it has a design to be the leading power in the world. He showed me, I don't know what city, but I know it's a coastal city, and I know and the result was from a dirty bomb. And a dirty bomb blew up in a coastal city, and it was uninhabitable for over 30 years. It was that level of radiation that was released.